Hi guys, Virginia here. I would like to welcome you to the COLAB, the Central Ontario Laboratory. We are here to educate, inspire, and activate. Welcome to the COLAB.
Hey there, I'm Virginia. This is the hair that lives on top, and today we have a very special guest.
We do have a very special guest, and I am Jamie Doran, the Executive Director of Research, Innovation, Entrepreneurship here at Georgian College. I get the pleasure of introducing Andrew Cywink. He is a researcher and technologist in our research department, and he's also really connected in the community in interesting ways, and we're going to learn all about that. So, Andrew, welcome to the COLAB.
Yes, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. Nice to see you.
Let's learn about you.
So I'm a licensed electrician by trade, as well as a master electrician and a certified engineering technologist. So I work here at Georgian College full-time in the Research and Innovation Department, and I'm also a part-time faculty instructor in the Electrical Apprenticeship program at our Midland campus, where I teach 1 day a week to up-and-coming apprentices and future electricians. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Those are some pretty lucky students.
Seems like you're really passionate about education. So you're doing a lot of teaching and you're helping students in projects and stuff. So where does that passion come from?
I think just more of my upbringing than anything. Growing up, I was always told to stay in school, and I think I maybe took it a little too literally because I'm still here so many years later. But so I think my parents kind of instilled that in me, that it's important to always learn. My grandfather as well was integral in passing that along as well. I'm Indigenous, so there's I guess there's a little bit of background there as far as education goes with residential schools and that sort of thing. But I was always told that it was education is the future, and so I'm always been passionate about not only my own education but being able to share that with other people as well. So the things I've gained, the things I've learned, they're not just for me; they're for me to share with others as well. So. Amazing.
Can you tell us more about your Indigenous community?
So I grew up in Elliott Lake, which is in Northern Ontario. I was born in Sudbury, but my background, I am from Whitefish River First Nation, which is just south of Espanola, if anyone knows where Espanola is. It's just north of Manitoulin Island, basically. So that's the community that I'm from. I never lived on reserve, but that's the community I grew up with or grew up knowing. And so as I started to get older and learn my journey, I started to get more involved with the Indigenous community. When I went to school, I tried to be involved in Aboriginal clubs and that sort of thing as well. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, I guess.
Tell us a little bit about the projects that you work on with students at the college.
So we work on a bunch of different projects. Because of my background, the projects that I'm involved with are mainly manufacturing based. So they would be around manufacturing within Simcoe County. So a lot of them deal with production issues we're trying to solve, quality issues. So a lot of that stems from the automation background that I have. So we've worked with different companies like MPC, Molded Precision Components, in Oro, Beaver Rock in the south end of Barrie. Mm-hmm. We're looking at some projects with Honda right now. So it kind of runs the gamut of different things. With my background being both mechanical and electrical, it's nice because I can work on both sides of the project as well. So I find it really rewarding. And so a lot of the projects we've done have been full integration projects. So that comes from basically solving the problem through design, development, programming, implementation, and integration, final integration in their facilities.
Do you have a favorite part of the process that is your favorite thing to be involved in?
Yeah, my favorite process, and I think I find this with a lot of students as well, is the development side of it. Mm-hmm. That's where the ideas start to flow, and you're really kind of, you're picking things out of the air that may not work, or often they don't work, but it's cool to have that discussion with people, especially students, when they're trying to see what will work and maybe what you've seen in the industry that won't work, and they come up with different ideas that are really interesting and creative.
Absolutely. It's that creative ideation stage that everyone loves.
The whiteboarding?
Yeah. The whiteboarding.
Yeah. Cool. And you mentioned automation, and so does that means robots, right? I'm familiar with some of our research projects, obviously, but I'd love to know a little bit more about what you mean by automation.
Yeah, so automation isn't necessarily robots. That's, I think, what most people consider automation, and that is definitely a big part of automation.
Yeah.
But automation obviously goes beyond that to standalone cells, and that you see that a lot with part checking, quality assurance checks, and that sort of thing.
Right.
And we're also talking about automating processes as well. That falls in the automation spectrum as well, where you have a process and you're trying to automate maybe process flow, material flow, ordering as well is another part of that. So there's lots of different processes or lots of different things associated with automation.
I never really thought of automation as all of the processes that are going to be done.
Yeah, and for me, that's a big part of it. It's the robots are kind of cool. I think they're really they're kind of showstoppers.
Yeah.
But to me, the automation that's interesting is the automating processes more than anything. So that may involve robots, but it's not just about getting material from point A to point B. It's about how can we automate this process? Not necessarily so just take a step back as well. I think a lot of people think of automation as eliminating jobs, but it's more than that. Oftentimes it's about assisting people and making flow in jobs easier, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the job loss thing, because sometimes when you hear automation, you hear, oh, well, we're replacing people with programs and robots and such. But glad to hear that we're not. We're actually elevating a lot of those jobs.
Yeah, and I think that's a piece that a lot of people don't recognize. They think it's just the job stealing.
Well, you hear about these lights out factories where the entire factory is automated. It's like turn the switch on and then shut the lights off and close the door.
Yeah, and again, that has a place as well, because we've got to compete with a lot of other markets now, the way the global market's set up. So there are processes where we need to do that, especially in automotive, because automotive is such a cutthroat business where you're talking about cost savings and in the pennies that'll make a difference in a contract. So when we're talking about automotive manufacturing, especially, then lights out automation does make a huge difference in productivity and those types of gains as well. So there's a place for all of it. It just it depends how far you want to go. I had a manager one time at a company I worked for here in Midland, actually, at Baytech. He always used to tell me that it's only money. You can do anything we want. It's only money. We can put a man on the moon. So how far do we want to take it? How much do we want to spend in order to automate something is right. Question, I guess.
You have recently been nominated for the Premier's Award. Congratulations. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, thanks so much for that. It was back in November, I believe, when the awards were handed out. So I was Georgian College's nominee for the Apprenticeship category for the Premier's Awards, which was a huge, yeah, exactly. It was a big deal for me, especially, and it's humbling to be nominated in a category with so many other great people. So it was.
Andrew, what does that mean to you to be nominated with those others that were in the apprenticeship category?
Yeah, so I mean, you look at the other nominees in the apprenticeship category, and just to be nominated alongside them is a huge deal. And then thinking to the people I work with and the apprentices that I've worked with and other electricians that I've worked with, it's an honor to be nominated as one of those people that stand out. So
well, I was there at the award night, Andrew, and you gave the best speech of the night. I thought that was really fantastic. It was heartfelt, and I got a sense of, yes, you love teaching and guiding those new apprentices, but you connected it back to your role in your Indigenous community and your responsibility back to our whole region and growing the skills and knowledge of the region, because we're a growing region. Yes. So I wondered if you think about that. I think you're connected to the business circles and ecosystem up in your area, and how do you feel about that with your training and the whole growth of the ecosystem? I think
I was, like I said, I was nominated in the apprenticeship category, so that's speaking directly to the trades. And in this area, we've got quite a bit of manufacturing, and there's so many different facets of manufacturing. And without the trades, we couldn't support that ecosystem, right? So it's very important to cultivate that area.
Well, congratulations once again. You are a worthy nominee, that is for certain.
Yes, and we were super lucky to have you on our team.
Yeah, highly proud.
Yes.
Can we ask you a crazy question? Because sometimes we like to ask that. And since you're kind of the engineer mind, you probably breeze at this question here. But we're gonna say that you're stranded on an island and you have to survive there for 1 month. What 3 items would you bring with you?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I think you need to make some assumptions about what's on the island and stuff. Like obviously you'd bring things like a lighter and a knife and that sort of thing.
Yeah, let's say it's an island in Lake Superior somewhere on the around the edge.
Oh, geez. We're going to the hard country.
Well, I mean, if you've got the essential things like a knife and a match and that sort of thing, matches, or a way to start a fire, then I think, if I was just going out there and having to survive, I think I would bring my canoe. I love canoeing.
Hmm.
Probably a fishing rod, and I don't know the third thing. Maybe my dog, I guess, just for some companionship.
That tells a lot about you, Andrew. You need a canoe, a fishing rod, and a dog.
Yeah. I mean, that's no more simple than that, I guess. I got a wife and 3 kids at home, and I don't think the kids would be too happy on the island for a month. So
Yeah.
I think I just bring the dog, and we'd survive. I think we'd manage.
Exactly. So these kinds of like crazy questions and challenges, they do have value, right? You can pose them to students. Do you feel like students enjoy postulating about these kinds of challenges and whiteboarding solutions?
Yeah, that's a big thing with automation and manufacturing engineering and that sort of thing. It's, you come up with all these crazy ideas, and some work and some don't. But I think it's the exploration that's the most rewarding, to be quite honest.
Absolutely.
I've just talking about some of the projects we worked on. So I worked on our project with MPC Molded Precision, and we went for a meeting one night,
Yeah.
myself and Umo, who was one of our electrical students in the department. And we sat in a meeting, and it was supposed to be, I think, like 2 hours long, and we ended up sitting there for almost 4 hours. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, so
wow.
it was Umo and I, one of our other faculty advisors, Amir, who had to leave early. But Umo and I sat there for 2 hours past the end time. We're just riffing ideas and coming up with different things and some crazy ideas that would never pan out, but just it was cool to be able to sit there with an industry partner and come up with, just some mind blowing stuff. So.
Absolutely. That would be very cool.
Tell us about how you go from having a big whiteboard full of ideas down to something that you can actually implement.
I think it's about practicality. So if we're talking about, what can we actually do? Like I said, there's you're limited by budget a lot of times. So you can do these crazy
Hmm.
ideas, but if the industry partner is not willing to spend the money, or if we can't get funding, or if the ideas are a little too far fetched, they kind of get thrown into the bin, right? But eventually, you pull it down to
Hmm.
something that you can actually do, and it's cool to dream, but at the end of the day, it's not all practical, right? So it's about eliminating the things that aren't practical and replacing with the things that are, and ultimately you come up with a solution that works for everyone, and go start building. So.
Have you ever passed on an idea and then circled back and ended up that was the idea that was like the choice thing?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. You look at an idea. Often it happens with things that are really simple, right? So it's that old KISS mentality: keep
Yes.
it simple, stupid. But you'll have an idea, and it's just like, well, that's it could work, but why don't we try something a little cooler, or maybe something a little more technical or whatever? And then you end up circling back to the simple idea because it worked before, and it's worked well, and there's no point reinventing the wheel, right? So it's
Yes.
yeah, it happens quite a bit, and I find it's not usually these wild ideas that you end up circling back on. It's usually the simple ones that you come back to. So.
Okay, Andrew, is there any other things you'd like to tell our audience about the things you're doing in the community or that you're doing with the college?
It's important for the community to understand that we're here for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of small to medium entrepreneurship or enterprises in the region that don't
Hmm.
have the budget for research and innovation, which is totally understandable. It's not a cheap space to get into, but the college is here for them to help develop their ideas. It's a great learning experience for the students. It's rewarding for faculty and support staff like myself. So yeah, I mean, just want to remind people that we're here for them, and we're happy to discuss ideas.
Awesome. You are going to have your doors being just kicked down with people now.
Blown off with the innovators. Yeah. That's awesome. Good closing message.
Awesome. So since we're wrapping up, Andrew, would you like to do us a favor and ask people to like and subscribe to our channel?
Yeah, sure. So how do the TikTokers do it? You got to smash that like button and subscribe for all the content, I guess. So let's
smash that like button.
Yes. Thanks so much.
Thanks again, Andrew, for being here on our show. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.